Hello, this is Navy Old Stock Gamer. I actually made a video yesterday, but it was all maintenance and boring stuff, so I didn't upload it. But I did make some changes. I went with heavy cables because when I fired up the electrolyzer, it was at 4.7 kilowatts, and I'm like, ooh, and if this turned on while that was running, so that spent a lot of my time yesterday changing all these cables out to heavy cables because I don't want to take the chance of zapping anything. I added a light in here so when I take my helmet off to get rid of my stinkiness, which I'm no longer stinky, so I can put this back on, give you a little bit better lighting. And turn that off, I guess. I did automate a bunch of, well, 3 things, I think. This still shows me how much I'm using. Right now I'm not using too much. This is reading my average ratio for the 2 batteries. I added another battery outside. So that is reading that. Right now it's at 92%. I was going to put that out here, but I thought it would be nice if I was inside here. I could kind of keep an eye on it. I could see it from out there by the dial display or the light displays, but I couldn't see it from in here when I was working. So I said, you know, I could put that in there and just hover over it. And 90 is actually going up, 93.8. Is it daytime? That's my wind. That's something else I got to cover. But that's pretty much everything in here. I did hook a drink water filler in here. I have been using a little bit of my water. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that, but I have been releasing my air tanks in here. Matter of fact, I can release that one. If you notice, it's cold in here, so I actually have to, that's too cold. 14 Celsius is too cold. So I'm wasting power. After I automated this and didn't have to sit here and watch it, it turns on and off so efficiently that it got too cold in here. I kind of wasn't expecting that, but that's a good thing because now I can add something to my code where if it's a certain temperature in here, speaking of which, I need a sensor in here to do that. And I need probably all over here. That should be it. I did do a bunch of mining, but I used a lot of that, so don't be surprised if I have to do a little bit of mining today. Alright, so let's put a sensor in here. Make sure these are open. Yes, they are. I do not need to be using air in here or when I'm in here. Where's a good place to put this? How about right here? Gas sensor. I could put it over here, kind of hide it a little bit. I like that better. And we'll wire that up. Again, I am using all heavy cable at this point. I got a lot of spare cables. So we'll name this one. And I did make a naming tool in the tool thingy outside. I think I had that up there. We're going to call this interior gas sensor. I could call it living, something like that. Alright, I think that's, and this is extra, I have to get a better suit eventually. I did clean up in here, put a bunch of shelves up. What is that cable over there? Because I don't have any more room over there. I had 2 storms. I had to repair my solar panels twice. It's not that big of a deal. It takes about 2.5, right now, 2.5 duct tapes, which is what, 6 iron. So it's just a little bit of time and kind of annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. Now let's go look to see what I did outside here. There's my tool maker. I don't know if that was in the last video or not. See, here's, I added another battery. I set up this. I had my electrolyzer working in here, and it got too hot. Anything above 300 degrees Celsius. I'm sorry, Kelvin, I think it is. 300 Kelvin, I believe. Now I have to look it up so I don't mislead you. Electrolyzer, there it is. Maybe I read it online, but I'm pretty sure it's 300 Kelvin. So if you're looking at that, check it out. But if it gets to 300 Kelvin, which is not hard to do out on Venus or in Vulcan, it auto ignites. So as I was doing this, the oxygen and volatiles would just burst into flames, and stuff that was going in here was like 1,500 Kelvin. And I'm like, well, that's not going to do me any good. But I did get a little bit of oxygen, not much, 136 moles. I automated this to this switch, and I want to set, part of what I'm going to do today is set some displays up. I got to figure out where I'm going to put them. I did put two things out here. This is my cooling housing, which automatically turns on and off my cooler, and what I need to do with that, and I'm going to do that right now since I got the sensor in there. Let's go to the cooling housing, import that. I got to make sure I do that correctly. So I'm going to add another device, alias the interior gas sensor. Oops, can't have space. Now let's make a gas sense, that's good. D2, and then I gotta go up here, so load R0, interior gas sense, temperature, E, okay, and then if it's greater than or less than, which would be the best way to do this? Yeah, be less than, and I gotta go get my calculator for a second. Hold on, I'll pause it, I'll be right back. How many of us wish they would just stick to either Kelvin or C in this game instead of having both and having just be forced to do conversions all the time? So if it's above 25C or less than 25C, 25C to K, some people have this memorized, I'm not that smart. So 298, we'll say, if it's less than, if R is 0, 298, then we'll put start, well, let me see, R0, yeah, that's it, start, S-T-A-R-T. So, if it's less than 298, jump to start. Now, do I have to tell it to shut off? If it's on, yes, I will. And I can't tell it to turn off there, so maybe I ought to do this, greater than. I can't do greater than, I gotta do less than, so then we'll jump, instead of start, we'll jump to turn off, which will force it back to start. That works. That's better. Confirm, export. So now that should, oh yeah, I have to, it says gas sensor. I don't know what the gas sensor is. D2, wasn't it D2? Did I mess that up? Is that the cooling sensor? Yeah. Did I export it? Probably not. No device. D1, D2. Confirm. Cooling housing. Export. D0, D1. Why is it not recognizing it? These are all connected. There's nothing in between. I'm recognizing the
power low.
Is it on here? There, interior gas sensor. I want interior gas sensor. Okay, what am I doing wrong up here? Alias D2. $378. So this is oh, error in line 7. Oh, jeez. Didn't get that far. Yes, greater, no, less than 298 turn up. Idiot. Now, I'm going to turn that on. It should do that. It still says there's an error in line. What am I doing wrong here? Can I please stop fat fingering things with my big fat fingers? Okay, so did that work? Since I said it previously, it may have. It did. Okay, so now we're good. So now it won't come on if the temperature's cool enough in there, and I won't be wasting power. Now this is my generator housing. So that is taking that reading that I got in there from the batch reader and saying, do I need to turn on? Additionally, I went all with solid cables up here, and I hooked that up to both, so I don't have to worry about having the generator wired separately. There's just a lot of advantages in my book to doing everything in heavy cables when you can afford to do it. And they should all be 100%. And I did add a bunch of wind turbines. Somebody recommended, you should put some wind turbines up. And I said, probably not a bad idea. And that's when I first blew the cable up here. I'm not sure if that was in the episode that I didn't show. But I got a storm, and I came back out. I was like, I'm not getting any power. And I fried one of these cables because it was above 5,000. So now I don't have to worry about it for a very long time. And currently, with those wind turbines and the generators, I am doing pretty well. I mean, it's staying pretty well charged, so it's working good. I got to get some more coal, but why did I use a data one there? Well, maybe that's just they input it automatically. But that's an import. Shoot. I wanted to load some more coal in here, but I ran out. I don't even think this is run lately, so I'm not too worried about that at the moment. Now let's get on to this. Like I said, it gets above 300, and one, it overpressurizes the electrolyzer, which is inside this box, because I'm trying to keep it cool. So I tried putting a volume pump on it to see if I could suck it out. And the only thing I could do was turn it off, because it was one time it was up to 18 megapascals. And I was like, that thing's going to blow up. So I turned it off, but when you turn it off, the gas doesn't come out. So I looked at it, and I could show you in here, and I noticed there's no mode where you can put it idle. So it doesn't unload unless it's on, which is here, but it has an activate. So I'm wondering if you can have it on and deactivate it and have it depressurized. I'm going to try that experiment, and I printed out a couple, and this isn't a very good, I'll put them over here, I guess. Yeah, it's not going to work. I can't put them up another level. I guess I'll have to put them over here, this is getting kind of crowded out here. That's going to be annoying. Yeah. Temporarily. Can I mount these to an iron wall? I think I can. I think I can. I may have to put some on it, but... Oh, I can. Look at that. I don't even have to put cable on it. Alright, so let's put one there. One there. I got 2 gas displays. Put one there. One there. Oops, they don't stack. One there. I got the glass. Put that on there. Oh, I don't have the disc, which is inside. Hopefully I didn't lose that. And how many cables do I got? 14. So we'll come down. Let's do this. Yeah, that's good. Over here. You know what? It's a shorter trip to do it this way. Barely, but... let's just go along the side here. Now, if I go get my disc, what did I hear clicking? Sound like I heard a IC circuit erroring, but I guess I'm hearing things. So, 550. This crazy thing, I didn't realize this used so much. 550. Well, that's charging. It uses a kilowatt. I did not know it used that much power. We could turn that off. And my disc is right there. Got it. Alright, so I should put that on the shelf so I don't lose it. So we'll go out here, we'll put this in there. Turn that one on. We can use that as pressure. Let's see if I can find the electrolyzer in here. Gas sensor. Cooler. Air conditioner. There it is, the electrolyzer. So that shows me the pressure of the electrolyzer. This will show me the temperature of the electrolyzer. Pull that out. And now let's turn that on so I can kind of monitor it now that it's inside. And I can turn that on with this switch if it's still hooked up correctly, and I don't have any errors, so I think it will be. I can hear it through the wall. Yep, I hear the gurgling. So the pressure is going up a little, temperature is going up a little. That's nothing to be worried about. So I should be making a small amount of oxygen. I just saw the temperature go up. Yeah, 70.1. Actually, that's working pretty well. That's working pretty well. Well, the pressure's probably going up so fast because the temperature's going up. The moles aren't going up that fast. Well, actually, the temperature's going down. So I think it is working pretty well. So that may have solved the problem by enclosing that and keeping it cool. But what I think I'm going to do is set a couple safety things in my electrolyzer housing that if the temperature gets too low, or too high, the temperature's actually coming down. I'm impressed. As long as I don't get auto ignition, I might not have to worry about anything. Just out of curiosity. And I don't have one of these. Well, let's see. It's daytime. I can't quite reach it. I should lower that a little bit so I don't have to do this. I'm generating 2.8 going up, so we'll say 3. I know I'm using more than that. That electrolyzer really sucks up power. Yeah, 4. But that's not too bad. I mean, I'm not generating enough power at the moment, but I can cover that with. The wind is blowing pretty hard right now. I might be doing enough now, almost, and going up. So during the day I'll be okay, but in the evening the generator might have to kick on, and that is looking wonderful. So if you're on Venus and you want to use the electrolyzer, then close it. And I don't know if the volume pump's doing any good or not, but the pressure was really building up, and it seems to have almost stopped. And I've gained almost 30 moles. Awesome. Awesome, there it goes again. So I am producing oxygen, I am burning up my water, but it didn't seem to be going down too fast. I had almost 600, well, a little over 600. I don't know how fast this is using it. Not very. And it is staying really cool in here. 14, it's almost time to expand my room, but I gotta get a little more oxygen. Did I release this? I meant to. I did not. Oxygen and CO2. What am I at in here? 37. Boom. Did I open it? I did. He didn't get much, unless I looked at it wrong. So let's put. I got 2 slots left, so we'll put that there, and we'll put the disc over here so I don't lose it. All right. So what's next on my list here? It probably would be good for me.
Air tank low.
Why did I do that? That was weird. Did I trip? Air tank low, that's not good. This is what's going to be the problem here pretty soon.
Air tank critical. Low pressure.
4
Oxygen
megapascals. So I got to get this air going, and I'm doing okay with it. I think I'm going to set up trading next, just as a fallback. Now ignore the pressure because it's the moles that are important, and the moles are climbing pretty good. I've got about 70 moles since I turned it on, and everything is staying marvelous. I feel very good about that. I was afraid I was going to have an issue with the temperature, but even through the hottest part of the day it stayed at 20. And burning power. So I think I'm going to go mine some coal and throw that in there. I'll be right back. Okay, so I went and got some coal. Let's throw this. That was coal, right? I got some. Oh, my color vision really messes me up when it comes to coal and lead. I'll put a window in there so I know when it's got enough in it that I don't have to worry about it. There we go. Is that cold also? We'll put that in there too. Okay. So during the daytime, I lose. So I'm going to definitely lose at night. That is staying perfect. Completely stabilized reaction in there now. And I'm up to 266. And even the temperature's not bad because it's just not getting that warm in there. So that's working really well. 93, 81. Okay. The other thing I was thinking about, I'm going to have to, next steps here, trying to decide if I should set up trading just as a backup, because by the way, I did find out credit cards are currently glitched. You start a new game at 0, So I have 2 credit cards, both at 0. So when I start trading, I have to sell things to get any money before I can do anything. Which is kind of goofy, but that's, well, that's the breaks. So once this gets below 50%, the generator should kick on. And I'm pretty close. I'm going down pretty fast. I'm curious to how much water I'm using. It's not using too much. It does pretty good. Still at 600 liters. So it does pretty good. But the generator should kick on pretty soon. So I'm thinking I'm going to make, do I have any iron? Just iron walls. I have to make some iron frames and some sheets. But I think I'm going to expand my wind farm. Maybe a couple more out this way. Because that's constant power, where this is only daytime power, and it's not even full daytime power because at this point they don't turn. And at the angle they're going, it's not very efficient. But yeah, I think I need to go with some more. That's annoying. It's off. There should not be any oxygen in there. But you know what? I should save that nitrogen. That's what I ought to do. I was thinking pretty soon I'm going to have to refill my propellant canister. So my next steps are going to be expand my power supply. There's the generators running. I expand my power supply and start some atmospherics. I really don't want to start the atmospherics before I expand the power supply. This has me really concerned, but it is working perfectly. 300 moles. Marvelous. Okay, so I'm going to pause it because I don't think you want me to sit here and sit there and watch me build. Just took another coal. Build a bunch of wind panels because I think I'm going to have to do some mining to do so anyway. So I'll go ahead and pause this again while I build up some wind stuff. And I'm still 15 degrees in here. Once you get this temperature down and get everything cooled, 15, this is all insulated. So I used another liter. I'm at 599. That's a lot of water though, because that's not only 599 liters in here. There's 152 liters in the pipe network tank. So I actually have a lot of water. So I'm doing pretty good here. So you know what? Let's open this. All right, I'm going to build up my
Low pressure. Oxygen low.
shut up. I'm going to build up my power supply a little bit. I could go with I don't have the advanced furnace yet, so I could go with solar panel duals. Now that I think you can. Yep. So I can track with these. I'd have to repair them. Maybe I should tear all those down and put the tracking ones up. I'll do that first. Get better from the solar that I have. And do a mix of solar and wind. And we'll go from there. I'll do that. What do I need for that? Kit solar panel. Steel, copper, gold. I got all that. So let's do that. I'm going to build 7 of those first, and a bunch more, maybe 10 or 12 more wind panels, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to pause this, and I'll be back when all that's done. It'll be a while. Well, I've been doing some work behind the scenes. I've got some more wind turbines and some tracking solar panels set up. And the storm kicked in, so that's really charging me good. I'm going to be at full charge pretty quick here. I'm now setting up a nitrogen filter. There's a lot of... I should make it a CO2 filter, I guess. Yeah, make it a CO2 filter. I want to set up a nitrogen filter over here by my furnace so I can filter out the nitrogen that I'm cooking in there. This is stabilized at 25 degrees, so I'm done wasting the power. It's a little annoying right now because it clicks on and off quite a bit, so I may have to tweak that and set a range in there, like 24 to 26 or something like that, so it doesn't click on and off so much. I have been making a lot of oxygen. That has been working rock solid. So I've used, what is it, about 34 liters of water. I don't know how much oxygen mole-wise it takes. How much is in here? So, yeah. So that's about, I got about 1.5 kilomoles in that big tank. So there's more in that big tank now than there is in this tank. And I'm thinking about pumping this out into the big tank, to think about that, and then having it load my suit somewhere here, though I am running out of room. Put a suit storage someplace where I can fit it. It's getting to the point where I'm going to have to expand here. I'm at about 40 kilopascals, 38.5. I still got room for some CO2, so I can pump. I don't know what I mean, there's a limit to how much CO2 I can have in here. So I'll add CO2 in here, although it's going to be very warm. And then I'll add nitrogen in here, so I can kind of cut down on my oxygen use until I get this expand and get some greenhouse stuff in here. I have to bring my seeds in. I thought I already did, but I guess I didn't. But I'll have to look at that. I can't look at that right now because the storm is over, but I am... I don't know why it's not going up anymore. I guess because I'm using 4.41 kilowatts because of that. So it's probably just never going to reach 1 as long as I'm using that much every tick. But okay, I'm going to pause this until I get my nitrogen or my CO2 filter hooked up, and then I'm going to set that to come in. It's over here, so I'm going to set it to come in here pretty slowly, I guess, otherwise the temperature will spike in here. But that's okay, I can cool it back down, and once it reaches a certain pressure, then I won't have to worry about it anymore. I'll have to look up real quick to see if there's a limit of how much CO2 I can have in my living area and still breathe. So that's where I'm at right now. Okay, so I got some work done here. Turn these off to save power because they are not budging. They are 92.46 for pressure and 20 for temperature. So that is working far better than I thought. I am up to almost 2 kilomoles up here, 1.93. So it is working pretty well. The other thing I did, which I think I mentioned, but I'll mention it again, is I added some tracking solar panels and some more wind vanes. I am still not quite generating enough power. This has to kick on every once in a while, so I am keeping that loaded with coal. The other thing I've done, because as you can see, my propellant is getting low, so I set a tank over here, and it's a tight fit right now. And I'm filtering out the CO2 out of the air because there's quite a bit of it. And I can use that for both to pressurize my room a little bit more. And I have it turning on and off at the same temperature, so 200 C, I guess, or something like that. It's a cool center. Let me double check that. I want to make sure I don't have that turning on and off. I have to go over here for that. I'm trying not to use my jetpack. I'm getting pretty low. So that's the CO2 filter housing. 493. That's a cool sensor. What's get my calculator. 493 K to C 219. Yeah, 219. So it's 220. So it runs all night long. So I'm bringing in at least somewhat cooler air. I wasn't doing that when I had it running manually. So this is probably a little warmer than that right now, but it'll cool off. What did I say it was? Yeah, 241. I can load that in my backpack. I just won't. I have no need to use my backpack inside my room, so that's not a big deal. But eventually I want to start letting some of this into my room to help pressurize this and save a little bit of oxygen. I saw that it looks like as long as you have 20 kmols of oxygen in the room, and I got 102, you should be okay. So you can have quite a bit of CO2 in here and still breathe. It's either 20K or 20 moles or 20%. So I think I can easily raise the CO2 up here to 50 and see how that works. But I think that's going to be it for today. One more thing I want to do. I still got my helmet closed. I thought I brought everything up here and I missed this, and I'm lucky it didn't blow it. It keeps blowing this. Every storm I get a little bit more into that crevice. I did bring all my stuff in. I must have been looking in the wrong spot or something. And I'm using my backpack, which I shouldn't be doing. My jetpack, I should say. So they must be in here. Did they not give me any seeds? Wow, that is a low trick. No money and no seeds. They give me a bunch of food. So I really do have to set the trader up here. That'll be my next step, I think. That is a dirty trick. I didn't notice that. They gave me a bunch of food, cans of food, but no seeds. So I got to trade for seeds too. So tomorrow that'll be the first thing, I think. I'm doing okay power-wise. I'm not doing perfect, but I'm doing okay. I'm going to leave this running till I get down to 50 liters of, or 500 liters of water and go from there. And I did forget I have 24 liters of water up here, which I could hook up. Let's do that right now. Utility liquid, need iron right there. Oh. Save my air, save my air, save my air. There we go. So we'll set up one of those. Didn't have any of those. always. Okay, if I put that right there, and I have a liquid pipe somewhere, is that it? Yep, I have one liquid pipe. So that worked out pretty well. I don't know if this will all drain. I mean, they probably won't. Is that the right spot? Yeah. Yeah. So that should add some water back, possibly. Yeah, it took 4 liters out of it. I wish there was a way. I guess I could pump it out, but that's not that big of a deal. I could always just make more of a mess. This is kind of silly, but I can't really use that wall anyway. Put another one right here. I don't have any pipe. So I have to make one liquid pipe. Oop. Liquid. There it is. That'll give me 2 more storage slots. That's a benefit of it, I guess. So tomorrow, the trader's going to get set up. I got to probably sell a bunch of ores. Yeah, equalized to the same thing. And I gained 2 liters in here. So might as well use it. Set up the trader. Got to sell some ores to some people so I can get some money. Possibly buy a couple oxygen tanks if they're relatively reasonable and drop them in here, and keep a couple for this. But if I get some oxygen tanks that have decent price, then I'll just be able to store them in here, and I can use those for my oxygen flow until I get this up and running to the point where I'm not what I consider survivability mode yet. I have no source of food. The only source of water I'm going to have anyway is the trader. There's no water here. But I can grow my own food. I don't think there's a way I can produce my own water. I have no ice. I'll have to look at that, but I really don't think there's any way to produce water. If anybody knows different, let me know. Oxygen-wise, I think I'm doing okay, because I'm going to set my suit maybe over here, my suit rack. Piping's going to be an issue. I guess I can put it here. Like I said, it's getting tight in here, but it is what it is until I can make enough air to expand, and I'm not at that point yet. But the cooling is complete. Excuse me. Cooling is operating perfectly. The electrolyzer is operating perfectly. Maintaining power mostly. At night, if things are running, and like I said, after this gets to, well, now it's higher, but I'm going to shut this off at 500 liters and then see. Actually, I take that back, because I'm probably going to let that run until I get my soup hanger here. I have to move some shelving probably. I don't know where I would move it to. Oh. You see how this kicks on and off here in a minute. That's actually not too bad. It probably just got below 126. Or 200C out there, I mean. Which means I haven't checked this yet. that, my filter should be running. I actually used the same program for those two units and just changed the device. Yep, it is. So that temperature should be coming down. I got 200 moles in there, not much. But I don't know how slow that'll build up. 21% out here, so it shouldn't take too long. 92 already. But, okay. You see what I'm doing? That's it for today. Again, this is Navy Old Salt Gamer. Like and subscribe, as it's getting kind of interesting. I'm close to where I want to be. I'm still not there. 2 kilmoles of water. That's pretty good. I'm almost up to of oxygen. I'm almost up to a megapascal in this big tank. So that's pretty good. Not too bad. Alright. Again, see you tomorrow. This is Navy Old Salt Gamer from Vulcan. Have a good day.